What's up? So it's finally time to get back on one of my projects. I've had a bunch of things coming through the shop lately, stuff that maybe I should record, maybe I shouldn't. Let me know. I don't like charging customers for setting up cameras, just something I don't do. But if you're interested in seeing a lot of the littler projects that I do, I'd be interested in making some smaller videos and stuff. The last one was pretty big project. It was an LS swap in a bagged square body S10 Blazer. Pretty cool. I mean, I'll be doing a lot more work on that truck down the road, but for now it was just getting the LS swap handled, getting it running and driving again, so the customer could do all the paint and body that he's doing on it. But getting back to my van, I have had the motor built for this thing for a couple of months. Probably a couple of months. So my plan is to get this van done for LS Fest in a month. So I'm not giving myself very much time at all, seeing as I just pulled this thing in last night, drained the coolant so I can start tearing it apart tonight. Let me get you back up to speed on what's going on here, and then we'll dig right into this thing because there's a lot of work to do. So like I had said in a previous video, when I went to LS Fest last year, I didn't see any classic vans there. And I said, I'm going to get mine done for next year, which would be this upcoming year. This thing runs like super good, so it wasn't a big priority to tear it all apart, but now's the time to do it because literally I have 35 days or something to get it done before we gotta leave. Here's the motor that's gonna be going in it. It's an aluminum 5.3 out of a 2010 Silverado. It's already been AFM and VVT deleted with a Summit Stage 3 cam. I got a little video here of us building the motor. back to present day. So like I said, I want to get this thing torn apart as much as I can this week and get the motor and stuff out. I don't really know how hard it is to LS swap one of these. Everything for a square body truck is basically all the swap parts, but the motor is here. I don't know how easy it's going to be to get out of up here. I mean, obviously I'm not the first person to LS swap one of these, so it can't be that hard, I don't think. But let's start with getting everything torn off the front of the van, and then torn off the top of the motor, and everything underneath torn off, and then we can start figuring out how we're going to get the old drivetrain out so that the new stuff can go in. Alright, so gravity is now the only thing holding that motor and trans in, which was what my goal for tonight was. So tomorrow I'll get out here, get a pull plate on the motor, and hopefully, you know, it'll all come out from the belly of the beast in one piece. I really don't want to be splitting the trans underneath it, but I have been told that pulling the trans off first makes it easier. But I don't know, sometimes I like to do stuff the hard way. So we'll see you tomorrow. Next day. Getting a little bit of a late start tonight, but that's okay, because really my goal tonight is to just get the engine trans pulled out and sitting on the floor, which may or may not be a problem. I think that the engine's going to come out this hole, no problem, but I do also think we're going to be playing a game of lift the engine hoist, lift the van, lift the engine hoist, lift the van, lift the engine hoist, lift the van, until everything clears, because this right here is going to hit here before the oil pan clears the cross member. So we're going to have to do a delicate dance. So let's see how this goes, or if all my other van buddies were right and you got to pull the trans first. Well, looks like I'm going to secede and admit defeat. Transmission has to come out first. Can't get the motor mounts out because I can't get my hands in there to get the nuts and bolts off, at least with the engine in the way. So, yep. I'm gonna pull the trans off. I've just made this much more of a headache for myself. Now the engine is just kind of suspended there. So this is going to be interesting, but I'll get you back once I get the transmission off the motor and I'm actually pulling the motor out, which probably will only take 15 seconds after the transmission's off. So. Pull the dipstick out. Okay. Well, that was just a colossal pain in the ass. Next time, I will know that when my 60 and 70-year-old van buddies tell me something, I'm going to take it as gospel, because they've already dealt with it more times than I have. So probably would have been a lot easier if I'd have just pulled the transmission right off the rip. But now we know. Hey, I've never done one of these. So, and you don't know until you try. Well, that's it for this video. I'm going to get this absolute disaster cleaned up. Get the transmission cleaned up, and in the next video, we'll be throwing new parts into the van. I'm going to try to put the motor and transmission in one time. One time. We did it with the square body. I'm going to try to do the same thing on this. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you then.